we all know Angela and Michael's relationship has been, let's say, tumultuous from the get-go. But honey, things have reached a whole new level of crazy lately. Michael, bless his heart, has been putting up with what many viewers, including yours truly, see as straight up abusive and controlling behavior from Angela for years. But it looks like our boy Michael has finally had enough and is taking some major steps to break free from Angela's iron grip. Here's the tea. Michael has reportedly filed a lawsuit against Angela. Can you believe it? After years of being pushed around, he's finally pushing back. Now, I know what you're thinking. BB, what's this lawsuit all about? Well, from what I've heard, it's all about Michael seeking compensation for the alleged abuse he suffered and, get this, securing his immigration status. Yep, he's going after that green card, but here's where it gets really juicy. Angela, being Angela, is not taking this lying down. She's reportedly resisting this move because she's afraid that if Michael gets his green card, he'll leave her faster than you can say, "I'm done." It's like she knows deep down that the only thing keeping Michael around is his desire for that green card. Ouch. Now, lawsuits ain't cheap, honey, so Michael, being the smart cookie he is, has turned to the public for support. He started a GoFundMe campaign, and let me tell you, the response has been overwhelming. Michael has managed to raise over $40,000. That's right, $40,000. It just goes to show how many people out there are rooting for Michael to break free from Angela's clutches. But wait, there's more. Angela, true to form, is not about to let Michael have his moment in the sun. Reports are coming in that she's trying to interfere with Michael's legal efforts. Apparently, she's pressuring him to withdraw the lawsuit. And get this, she's allegedly trying to get her hands on the money Michael raised through GoFundMe. The audacity of this woman, I swear. Now let's take a moment to really appreciate the gravity of this situation. Michael has endured years of what many of us have seen as emotional abuse on national television. We've watched Angela yell at him, control him, and treat him like he's her property rather than her partner. And now, finally, Michael is standing up for himself. It's like watching a butterfly emerge from its cocoon, and I am here for it.
I don't care what y'all think about me because I know the real mother.
But he's not better than the private investigator, though.
Because
and we can,
you know
we
why?
can
We
all...
didn't have enough time to get it all. This ain't, he ain't had enough time. This is 2 weeks investigation. We're going home. Y'all enjoy. I don't care what y'all think about me because I know the real mother.
But he's not better than the private investigator, though.
Because
and we can,
you know
we
why?
can
We
all...
didn't have enough time to get it.
Besties, this breakup wasn't just your average drama. It was explosive, with accusations and threats flying everywhere like confetti at a New Year's Eve party. Michael was ready to move on, but Angela, oh honey, she wasn't letting go that easy. She came for him hard, launching legal battles left and right, hell-bent on proving he was a cheater, a liar, and a straight-up scammer. Angela's campaign against Michael was relentless. She accused him of everything under the sun, cheating with younger women, scamming her out of cash, and playing with her emotions just to get ahead. In Angela's mind, Michael only used her to score a visa to America, planning to ditch her the moment he got what he wanted. Talk about trust issues. But our boy Michael? He had something Angela didn't. Truth and integrity. As the accusations stacked up higher than my pile of unread emails, Michael wasn't just battling for his reputation, he was fighting for his future.
Tell you that Michael is cheating on Angela in any way.
I've got 160 pages of reports. To answer your question directly, no, there's not.
Okay.
Good.
I don't care. I don't care. You just talk. What did you do?
Send me back home.
That's the last time you'll say.
That's when Michael decided it was time to flip the script and take legal action of his own. Yep, you heard that right. Michael hit Angela with a defamation lawsuit. He understood that Angela was coming from a place of anger and pain, but that didn't give her the right to drag his name through the mud with lies. Michael brought in a top-notch legal team ready to prove his innocence in court. The legal battles stretched out for months, with both sides going hard to make their case. As time went on, Angela's accusations got more elaborate. She started claiming that Michael had a secret life back in Nigeria, full of younger women who were only after his money. But honey, Angela's evidence was shakier than a Jenga tower in an earthquake, mostly hearsay and circumstantial stuff.
After an exhaustive study of you, look, I've got a 189-page report. Almost every single thing that's ever been mentioned about you on the internet. It took a staff of about 5 investigators to dig all the information up that we have. So If there's anything that you want to disclose, now would be a great time to do that.
No.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. In a desperate move to dig up dirt on Michael, Angela hired a private investigator. She was hoping to catch him red-handed and finally prove he was the man she believed him to be. But oh boy, did that backfire spectacularly. The investigator, a seasoned pro, spent weeks following Michael, interviewing people in his life and digging into his past. Angela was sure the investigator would find something, anything, that would confirm her suspicions. But when the private investigator took the stand, the courtroom was left more shook than a martini in James Bond's hands.
Private detective to prove that I'm wrong. I want it to be wrong. I want to be so wrong. He has no idea.
Michael, were you aware that Angela hired a private investigator?
No.
Instead of dropping some bombshell against Michael, the investigator testified that Michael was, in fact, innocent. He found no evidence of cheating, scamming, or any other shady behavior. It was a twist no one saw coming, especially not Angela. The investigator described Michael as a straightforward, honest man who had been unfairly caught in Angela's vendetta. His testimony was the final nail in the coffin for Angela's case. When the judge finally delivered the verdict, clearing Michael of all accusations, the courtroom burst into applause. Michael had won. He was free from Angela's accusations, and his name was cleared. But Angela? Oh honey, she wasn't about to accept the outcome gracefully. As the applause roared on, Angela jumped up, shouting at the judge, at Michael, at the private investigator, at anyone who would listen. Her outburst was a mix of rage and disbelief, and she wasn't done making her voice heard. Angela accused the investigator of lying, claiming he'd been bribed by Michael's legal team. Her outburst was wild, the kind of fiery rage that had become her trademark on 90 Day Fiancé. But this time, no one was paying her any mind. The courtroom had already shifted its focus, congratulating Michael on his big win. Michael, bless him, stayed composed even as Angela's screams reverberated through the room. He had seen this side of her plenty of times before, but now it no longer had any sway over him. Michael was free, not just legally, but emotionally too. Angela's attempts to drag him down had flopped, and it was finally time for him to move on with his life. As Angela stormed out of the courtroom, still hurling accusations and insults, Michael felt a wave of peace wash over him. He had fought hard for this moment, and now it was finally here. His life was his own again, and he was ready to start fresh. But besties, don't think for a second that Angela was done with her dramatics. In the days that followed, she kept the drama going, spreading rumors about Michael and trying to tarnish his reputation however she could. She popped up on talk shows, gave interviews, and even took to social media to vent her frustration with the verdict. But the more she ranted, the clearer it became to people that she was just a bitter, angry woman struggling to accept her loss. Michael, on the other hand, embraced his newfound freedom with open arms. He dove into projects he'd put on the back burner for years, reconnected with old friends, and even started thinking about new relationships. The trial had been a major turning point for him, a moment when he realized he didn't owe anyone, especially not Angela, any proof of his worth. As the months rolled on, Angela's fury gradually faded into the background. The public grew weary of her incessant outbursts, and even her most ardent supporters began to question her motives. Meanwhile, Michael thrived. He was finally free to live his life on his own terms, without Angela's shadow looming over him. And Angela? She was left to confront the reality of her actions and the fallout they had caused. She had tried to tear Michael apart, but in the end, she only managed to tear herself down. Her reputation was in ruins, her credibility in question, and she was left alone, screaming into the void as Michael moved on to a life full of hope and promise. Looking back on their relationship, it's clear that Michael's love for Angela was always genuine. He bent over backward to prove his devotion, waking up early for daily check-ins, avoiding any situation that could be misconstrued, and constantly reassuring Angela of his love. But Angela rarely returned these efforts. Instead, she responded with suspicion and anger, twisting Michael's loving gestures into something negative. One of Angela's friends once made a brutally honest remark, saying Angela treated Michael like a dog. It was painfully true. Michael was often treated as if his feelings didn't matter, as though he existed solely to fulfill Angela's needs and desires. In their arguments, Angela would constantly shut Michael down, screaming, "Shut up, Michael!" and never allowing him to express his thoughts or feelings. Despite all this, Michael stayed committed to Angela, convinced that if he just tried harder and proved his loyalty beyond any doubt, she would finally see how much he cared. But no matter what he did, Angela couldn't or wouldn't see it. She was too consumed by her insecurities and fears to recognize the genuine love Michael was offering her. The court case was the culmination of this toxic dynamic. As the accusations piled up, Michael felt the weight of all those years spent trying to prove his love to someone who refused to believe it. But for the first time, Michael wasn't just trying to prove himself to Angela. He was fighting to show the world his truth. When the verdict came in Michael's favor, it wasn't just a legal victory, it was a personal triumph. Michael had finally reclaimed his voice, his dignity, and his future. He was no longer the quiet, compliant man letting Angela dictate his life. He was now a man who had fought for his freedom and emerged victorious. So, besties, what do you think about this whole messy situation? Are you Team Michael all the way? Or do you think there's more to Angela's side of the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your girl is dying to know what you think. And before I go, remember, while we love our 90-day fiancé drama, these are real people with real feelings. Let's keep our discussions respectful, okay? But also, let's keep it real because that's what we do here. All right, my loves, that's all the tea I have for you today. But don't worry, I'll be back soon with more juicy gossip and hot takes. Until then, stay fabulous, stay curious, and always remember, in the world of reality TV, the drama never ends. Goodbye!